Hello YouTube, this is Natsu and Fairy Tale here. I'm gonna go over a battle that me and Ascriptmaster had. This was like, I'm starting to a little get into competitive Pokemon, and Ascriptmaster's a little more experienced than I am, so he sort of, and this was just a really, really cool battle, because him and I ended up using almost the exact same team, so it was a lot of mind games and a lot of, like, thinking a lot. I kind of built, in case you don't know, I'm a huge fan of a YouTuber, Pink Reaper. I'm a huge fan of it. I like, I've seen about a lot of his vids, and I was watching his Pokemon vids, and I was like, I don't know, like maybe I want to get into Pokemon a little bit. So I kind of started by, and since I started by building my team based off of his team a little bit, like what he used, and like, all right, let me try this, and like let me see how this works for me personally. So we start off. We're gonna start with so basically, here we both normally the lead was Metagross, but since he was gonna use Rengar, I was like, wait a second, let me use the Pokemon that can best counter that, which is Tyranitar. And he thought the exact same thing. So we ended up both leading off with Tyranitar. So he switches out, he gets out Bellroom. I anticipate the Bellroom switch. I'm like, alright, well, what can best counter Bellroom my team? So that's why I go with Rankless. And he's just like, oh man. So he gets that off, and obviously I called it, but he spores Miraculous, and I become very sad. So here he used Substitute. I get my Miraculous woken up though, and I go with Hidden Power. I went with Hidden Power just to get rid of any changes out he might have, and all that, and pretty much. So he goes with gets Bellroom. So nothing happened. I switch out for Zapdos because I know he's just gonna spore again. So I want I was like, oh, let me get Zapdos to K-Tit, and then Sandstorm, all that stuff from our Tyranitars. Then I switch out, go back into Ridiculous, and then he substitutes. So then I expect him to. The reason I went with Rankulus is because Rankulus is supposed to bait out Tyranitar, and my Rankulus has Hidden Power Fighting. So Tyranitar would just get wrecked, like boom, and that'd be it. And Bellroom, oh, I have my food here, or what was left of my food. And Bellroom just wouldn't be able to do anything. Well, it could, but Bellroom would have the issue of you can't spore, and you're just pretty much stuck looping your substitute against me. So you wouldn't be getting anywhere. But he goes with C-Bomb. I I went Hidden Power Fighting too, once again, like I said, trying, because I thought I might beat out Tyranitar. Since Tyranitar would wreck Relinquilus possibly. It kind of took me a while to pick this move, so I went with Recover, because I'm like, well, Recover, get some HP back. And he recovers. And then he goes with another C-Bomb. I went with another Hidden Power, yep. And then, let's see. Sorry, if we will do Pokemon, we will cast that one, like, as we're playing, but just not the specific one. So I'm sorry about this. And then he retreats, gets his Rankulus. So then I Calm Mind. Alright, so I Calmed Mind because basically, since it would just be an endless loop of the substitute coming up and down, I was like, well, let me Calm Mind then, so that way I can at least build up and all that. And then he bring up his Rankulus for some reason. I don't know why he did that, to be honest. So he Calm Minds too. And then I Calm Mind, so it pretty much ends up being for a couple turns just calm minding each other, just to see who can build up, who will build up first. I had the 1 turn advantage, however, my HP is lower than his. So this continues, or yes, we go another round of 2 more rounds of Calm Mind actually. And then if you see in the comments, I'm just like Calm Mind all day, every day. And also, yes, that is in reference to Cube from Madoka Magica, which is another thing I'm also a huge fan of. So if you like Madoka, props. So eventually I'm just like, screw it, I'm just going to attack. So he attacks, and we both end up attacking at the exact same time too, which is kind of funny. But he obviously has the advantage because of that extra HP damage I didn't fully recover. So at this point, I'm like, well, I gotta switch out my Pokemon or Rankle's gonna die, and Rankle's just too freaking awesome to die. So I switch out into Tyranitar, expecting him to, once again, Psyshock, which has no effect to Tyranitar. Then he recovers. Yeah, I anticipate a switch out. Rankle's, I anticipate that he will switch out into Breloom. Yup. Once again, another prediction. I swear I predicted all this stuff too. I'm not BSing. So he gets that C-Bomb critical hit, and I end up going down from that, which kind of sucks. So I bring out Scissor, and Breloom was faster than me, so he brings in his Scissor to counter my Scissor. So I knew he was going to probably get something, so I brought in Metagross. I expected Tyranitar, but he brings in his Metagross to counter my Metagross. I wasn't sure what he was going to bring in, so I was like, well, let me Stealth Rocks at this point, since I'll see what he brings in from there. Since Metagross, he could have brought in Tyranitar, but I didn't want him to bring in something else and miss. I probably should have Earthquaked here, though. That would have been the better move. But but I did eventually Earthquake, and he self-does, went with Meteor Mash. See, Meteor Mash right there. And then, I don't know what I'm just gonna explode. Just cause, yep, and that ended up killing off both of our Pokemon. Then I bring in Zapdos to see what he's gonna bring in. And he brings in Scissor. You see Sword Dance. I try and use Heat Wave to wake up, like in a desperate attempt. And he just bullet punches me. And then I try again, but Zapdos just won't wake up. And I get another bullet punch, I believe. Yep, bullet punch. And Zapdos goes down. Like, well, I only have Breloom as my own. Bam! He just takes that one. Yeah, because I expect him Seed Bomb, which would have probably been equally effective. But I didn't. The switch out too. Yeah, no, I didn't. If I anticipated to switch out Scissor, I probably would have gone with with Focus, because my next move is definitely Focus Punch. Since he gets rid of it. I Focus Punch. That doesn't do enough to get rid of Scissor, which is a real shame, because now there's not much else I can do, since I withdraw, because I know he's gonna get me, and so he bullet punches. I bullet punch, I believe, in response. Yeah, I pursue, because I thought he was gonna switch out, but he didn't. He Swords Dance. Then he gets leftovers. I keep bullet punching him so I can maybe at least get him down, but he just refuses. And at this point, it's clear that I'm gonna lose, since like Scissor just bullet punch Tyranitar, and Tyranitar would just go down. Then my Scissor can't do anything to it. Yeah, see, I haven't said right there I lost. Mind games in the match. And a lot of just, well, I know what he's going to do, so I have to think, am I going to counter what he's going to do? Simply also because we also knew the move sets of all the Pokemon, for the most part. Although Ascriptmaster did not know my, what's the Pokemon called? I'm kind of new on all this. Ranculus. Sorry for my doc there. He did not know my Ranculus had the hidden power for fighting, so he was confused on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So be looking out for more Pokemon with me, with Ascriptmaster and I. And this is Oathkeeper 75 signing out.